what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Dazzle video. Alright, this is a ranked replay analysis. This is my third account, so this is a little bit lower in level. This is like Divine 3, Divine 2, Divine 3, something like that. So, not the highest level, but whatever. Still similar, guys. Still similar. I will say this game was... I did feel like I was out of place a little bit. I feel like I should be placed a little bit higher than this game, but regardless, here we go. We're gonna first talk about my facet choice. As you'll see, I am playing with Nothl Boon. So let's pause this game real quick and talk about it. There are a few criteria, 3 criteria that I look for when I pick Nothl Boon over Poison Touch or Poison Bloom. First of all, if I'm picking Nothl Boon, I have to be playing support. Alright, I'm not picking Nothl Boon as a core ever. No questions asked, not even considering it. The first criteria is, does the enemy team have a lot of dispels or a lot of saves? So in this game, there is a save with Vengeful Spirit swap. There is Abaddon's Shield, which is on a really low cooldown. And you kind of have a semi-save with Slardar's Sprint. So even if I get a Poison Touch on Slardar, he can just sprint away in the early mid game. In the late game, he's probably going to have like BKB or something like that. So I'm not going to be able to reliably hit him anyway. The second question I ask myself is, do we have a lot of control? Does my team have a lot of control? So in this game, we have Invoker, Dark Willow, and a Mag. Those 3 heroes I feel are very good at controlling enemy heroes. So we have a lot of stuns, skewers, repositioning, RPs, cold snap, even EMP. And on top of that, Drow is somewhat of a control hero. She's got a lot of slows, she's got a silence even. So I think this team is a good candidate for Nothl Boon because they have a lot of control already. We don't need to be the one spreading poison blooms to control the enemy team. And then lastly, do we have enough damage? This is the one I wasn't super sold on, but in the late game, I really feel like Drow does a lot of physical damage. Invoker does a lot of magic damage and pure damage. And then we have the RP into Cataclysm combo, which I think is going to carry us into the late game. But the main thing I think in this game is the Drow. If I can get Drow to have a good game, this game is going to be great, in my opinion. All right, and it's important that I put this ward down because of this ward, I saw that Grimstroke had an Observer and a Sentry. So Grimstroke is literally coming over and trying to place a sentry. So Poison Touch is really good for dealing with that sort of interaction, defending your camps, blocking enemy camps, taking Lotus pools. You want to be ready to cast Poison Touch on most heroes. It will work. If this was an Abaddon 4 and a Grimstroke 5 on the enemy team, I definitely would have taken Shadow Wave first and traded with Shadow Wave because I'm just going to be wasting my Poison Touch against Abaddon, hands down. All right, and I have a Salve and a Sentry coming, just so, because I know I'm about to take a lot of damage in these early game trades, so I don't want to mess around there. And I think I do my first pull. I pull the range creep, nothing crazy there. And then now, again, I'm trying to protect my small camp. And because Grimstroke is away from the lane, I want to try and posture and be a little bit more aggressive. And hopefully I get level 2 here. And this is a big power spike, so I'm going to try and be a little aggressive. This now would be a good time to talk about my starting item build. So I have Windlace. That's the one I want to talk about in this video. Windlace is a very good starting item on support Dazzles, because of Dazzle's starting movement speed is 305. That's the base movement speed. In the grand scheme of Dota, 305 is not very fast. Okay, so in order to have a movement speed advantage before boots, I like to have I like to have Windlace, and it's great against almost every matchup. Also, if you get hit by Grimstrokes, Silence, you want to just hit the little bug phantom things. Don't panic, just hit them. And right now I'm trying to get like a little Shadow Wave trade. Unfortunately, and I have a Salvinus and a Clarity, so I'm not really too worried about taking too much damage. And level 3 is a huge power spike on Dazzle, so that's what I'm waiting for here. I'm really excited for it. The reason I'm Shadow Waving is because Slardar is just sitting next to like 2 or 3 creeps, and it's just too good to pass up. But once you hit level 3, it's almost not really much the enemy team can do there. They gotta just at least sacrifice one person, and because of you know, and because ooh, that sucks, yeah. Because we're giving each other armor with my Nothl Boon Facet, kind of helps me trade in the early game. So in that way, poison, or not poison boom, Nothl Boon is good. I could have casted a poison touch here, level 2 poison touch. I would have hit both of them, but my mana level is not that high, so I want to be a little bit cautious of it. This is me getting a read on the... Oh, okay, he's out of position for sure, so this should be a kill. I didn't realize how low Drow was, but he got out of position. The reason I got that D ward is because I was continuously clicking Grimstroke, and he had that Observer ward from the very beginning. And I noticed it. He placed it, and then I just said, hey, where was he in the last 5 seconds? There he was. And so... that's another reason why you don't want to just sit behind your carry. You kind of want to be active, and you want to have vision of your opponent, especially the support, where they're going in the lane, just so you kind of know like where the vision is. And then at 5 minutes, I decide to walk back. So it's important. What I did there was I pulled a small camp, and then I walked back. And that's important because I want to come back to the mid lane with full mana, full HP. I was a little bit late, that's why I come back with less mana, but I'm here to check the ruin. So I grab Observers, Sentry, and then I go and I let the let my mid know where the rune is. This is very important because Lesh is, I think he got like a solo kill on Invoker, so he's a level ahead and he has ult. He's got level 3 Edict. This is crazy amount of damage. This could snowball and be a big deal, so it is a big deal that I'm here. We're just waiting out the Edict, and I get the poison touch on him, so I'm just refreshing it, and we get a kill. So you want to try and help out, even if another support had TP'd in, which they're kind of late to do, but he does TP in. We would have tried to get the kill on Lesh anyway. That's the important thing. We don't want Lesh to just snowball through. We want to kill Lesh, and then if I need to die in that instance, that's fine. I don't care. I mean, it's, you know, we'd rather kill Lesh and trade my life rather than Lesh get a kill and the rune. So that's why we went down to the rune fight. In this scenario, a lot of scenarios I should say, you should consider going straight from the rune to the wisdom. I've seen a lot of high level players do that. Maybe in our games the enemy team doesn't prioritize it as much, but in a lot of games, like high level games, they'll bring a lot of heroes and try to take the wisdom. So keep that in mind. At minute 7 or at minute 6 you're here, and then at minute 7 you want to walk over and try and contest the wisdom rune. In this case, I looked over, there was nothing happening. I mean, you know, we had control of this off lane, so we're okay there. So I come back top. Dazzle in the early game, especially if you pick Nothl Boon, is a lot about trying to understand what the enemy team sees and being one step ahead of where the enemy team is going. So in this case, when Drow is all the way up here, that's kind of a red flag for me. I want to have a little bit of cautious, like a little spidey sense that something may happen here. So if Lesh is missing for a little bit of time, He's missing right now, and we're up here. He could TP in, but he's not going to TP in if he knows where I am. So I'm standing in the trees here. I'm not really showing. Slardar jumped forward, and then Lesh showed mid, so we came over. And you want to keep it in mind, keep an eye on Lesh. Keep an eye on him. Does he have a TP? Is he TPing? Right now he's diving mid, but I don't have any mana, so I'm not going to do anything here. And unfortunately, he gets another kill on our mid, but it's okay. Lesh does tons of damage. No need to panic there. I'm in the same type of scenario where, you know, I don't have that much mana, but I want to contest this rune. So I'm like, oof, I gotta at least go, even if I can cast one spell, you know, and die for it. That's fine, but it's fine as long as Lesh doesn't get it. We're fine. We're good. And then I decided to go back. It would have been great if I showed up to that fight with full mana, full HP, but it is what it is. So things are going pretty smooth. Drow is farming pretty freely, I would say, like pretty much uncontested. The only thing that we're kind of worried about is this positioning right here. She's kind of far up, right? And I just pinged Lesh. I said Lesh is missing. Be careful, because if Lesh TP's top and Grimstroke TP's top, they can slow Drow and then kill Drow. So we're just warning her. And then what I want to do now is kind of like place a little more vision for Drow. I have that good ward that I placed on the left side, but now I want to place one in the river because that first ward that I placed expired. So I want to keep an eye on the map movement through the middle of the map. And then also I saw that Grimstroke had an observer ward, so I want to make sure that I kind of keep an eye on that. Fortunately, he placed it right on the sentry. That wasn't the best play by him, I don't think, but you know, it happens. And they're going a little aggressive, over aggressive, I'd say. But this is also an important aspect of playing Dazzle support, is staying off the map as much as possible. Because if the enemy team sees that you are in a lane, they are not going to be aggressive on that lane. Because Dazzle is one of the best heroes at counter initiating. So they're not going to initiate on that lane, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to smoke gank somewhere else. So it's important to stay hidden if you can, if you had the choice, as long as possible. All right, so that's another theme that we're going to keep track of here. And the priority for me is Drow, protecting Drow. And one of the big reasons for that, additionally from the fact that I think Drow is going to win us the game, is that Mag has skewer. So he can skewer away. He's kind of like Darkseer. He can just surge away. So you don't really have to babysit Magnus. He's pretty tanky. This is unfortunate because, so you'll notice I'm smoked. Now, the reason I smoked is because I wanted me and Dark Willow to prepare for this 12-minute rune. It's 11:53 right now. And I was like, hey man, we should go over and secure this 12-minute rune. However, the enemy team also did a great job of, I think they smoked as well, and this was the blink reveal. So Lesh got his blink, and when Lesh gets his blink, that's a huge timing. So he's definitely, it's almost guaranteed to get a kill. But now let's talk about how the game shifts once Lesh gets his blink. Lesh invested 2,250 gold into this blink, right? He could have gone Kaya, he could have gone Boots of Travel, he could have gone, I don't know, Yules, but he got blink. He's going to want to use this blink. He's going to want to be very aggressive with this blink. So that's something that as a Dazzle, you always want to know. Are there any enemy heroes that want to be very aggressive and, you know, are pinging their team to be aggressive? And the answer is this: in this game, it's Lesh. So you want to always kind of keep track of, you want to be in your opponent's head and look at the map from the opponent's point of view. Like, for example, right now he doesn't have any mana because he just killed Invoker. But what would Drow... Well, imagine he had Boots of Travel and he had full mana, full HP. Where would he go? He would definitely go here, right? He would TP here, blink, kill. Right? Kill the Drow. So those are the kind of things you always want to try and keep track of. Which heroes have kill potential and where are they going? And that's going to be very important in this game. I'm smoked still, so I decide not to show. I don't want Lesh to know where I am because I need to mirror where Lesh goes. If Lesh goes top, I need to go top, and this is exactly why. Any chance he gets, he's just gonna run in and kill, and he does 1,000 million damage. Now I have my ult, so I'm much stronger. But the general concept is the same here. All right, the main thing I want to do now is try and get some vision on the opponents. Okay, this is very important right here. So, and maybe I could slow this down. Maybe I can slow this down here. So, oh my god, look at this replay bug. As soon as I see, right here, Slardar and Lesh, right there, okay? These two guys. Now, you gotta ask yourself this. Are Slardar and Lesh like on a date and, you know, going to have dinner and going out for a snack at the bar? No. Okay? There's no reason why these two are walking close to each other in a straight line towards my Drow. They're not farming the same creep wave. They are going to kill Drow right now. Okay? So as soon as I see this, okay, I immediately put my cursor and I TP. Okay, I'm like, boom, I need a TP right now. And I'm like, Drow, back up, back up. I don't think Drow saw, so I'm like, back up right now. He's here, he's here. Because I don't know if Drow knew that Lesh had blink, even though I pinged it out. So this is clutch here. Bang, and this is the classic, you know, Dazzle play, the Dazzle save. Bang, bang, double Q with the shadow wave, and then basically you'll get a couple auto attacks, and then you want to go back into your body. Pretty standard from here, but that was huge because if Drow had died, that would have been a double whammy because Lesh would have gotten way stronger and Drow's timings would have gotten way slower. So that was a great play in terms of being aware of the minimap. So in this case, I thought I did not see Lesh walk over. I thought he TP'd. Now, was I correct in that instance? Oh, he doesn't have... I think he did TP. But I thought he TP'd. So I said, all right, Lesh is not going to be able to TP. And he has no mana, no HP. So I think I'm going to portal here and be aggressive on our off lane. That's what I'm thinking here as I portal. And it does work well for us, so I kind of wait. I don't want them to know I'm here. Great RP. Fantastic RP. I'm trying to zone out the Abaddon. And then I get a nice grave on Drow. So again, save the Drow, and then we turn the fight off their aggression. So all classic Dazzle plays here. These are kind of things that that work at any level, because a core part of Dota is initiation and getting kills, and it's going to happen at every level, no matter who you are, what heroes you have. For some reason, my Invoker didn't take this Arcane Rune, so that's why I took it. I pinged it 3 times. He didn't take it. And now, okay, Mag has Blink. So now we have a little bit of a power spike. They're still very strong, so I always have to keep in mind that Lesh can blink kill anyone on the map. But now we can be slightly aggressive with Mag here. But I need to give him vision, so we're controlling the vision. And let's see what happens here. I'm not too sure. I kind of forget. Okay, I'm looking top, but Lesh is here. So again, I just follow Lesh because Lesh is the hero that's going to kill everyone. All right, so another classic, another save off of the Lesh aggression. And then heal your teammates up. Nice, solid, classic Dazzle plays right here. There's some good stuff. And Drow is doing a good job. I just kind of like glance at Drow every once in a while, make sure she's doing well. Okay, now, in terms of the map, you always want to try and make sure, like again, Lesh is alive. Okay, so Lesh is gonna be aggressive somewhere on the map because even there's no BKBs yet. Lesh is still the strongest hero in the game. We have to be aware of that. Now, this is a huge red flag right here. This mid wave, no one's on the mid wave. If there's anything we know about core players, they want farm. They want last hits. So why aren't they last hitting this wave? That's a huge question. So I need to be ready. Okay, I have my TPs ready. I need to be ready to TP here. But my Drow is smart. She's doing a great job of not just hitting the tower blindly, right? That's too far away. So she's farming these camps. And I'm going to continue to monitor this situation because I really need to know where they are. I need to follow the Lesh, right? I need to respond to the Lesh. So Lesh showed top. And so that's a huge sign. I need to be ready to TP top. I'm not going to TP top because we have the potential to take the bottom tower. But we need to be aware of this. All right, so in a second, I'm actually going to scan. So I scanned this jungle here because it's too suspicious for me that I haven't seen anyone in the mid lane. And I don't see anyone in the bottom lane either. So I'm like, they're probably smoking to Drow. That's what I thought. So I think we see it turned red in a second. Yeah, so it turned red. So they're in our jungle right now. And it's just me. It's my way of telling Drow, hey, buddy, they're going for you. They're trying to kill you. But also kind of gives us the green light to take this bottom tower. At the same time, I see them coming, and I'm like, they might come through the portal. They might come through the portal, which I was correct. However, I did not anticipate all the heroes here. They 5-man smoked, I think. So I read the map correctly, but I did not read to what extent. So, you know, I just get killed by Lesh, which, you know, this is 3v5, so it's nothing much we can do. And I think we all die. Oh, no, Mag gets away. So this is actually a fantastic trade. They missed all these creeps, right? They missed all these creeps. I think they missed a wave top too, and they missed a wave or two bottom. They didn't kill Drow. Drow was farming the entire time. And the only two heroes that died are Dark Willow and Dazzle. That's fantastic. On top of that, we popped Abaddon's ult. Grimstroke used his ult. I thought I saw a swap, but I guess not. So we used a lot of their resources. We wasted a lot of their time. So this is a great trade. So that scan was awesome. I don't know if Drow would have farmed here anyway, but that scan let Drow know to get out of there so they didn't take our top tower. And top tower is very important. Safe lane towers are very, very important in Dota right now. Ever since they got rid of the TP, whatever it's called, the Watcher or the Portal or whatever, Outpost I think it was called. This is a very important tower for our Drow because she needs to farm in this area, and it allows us, the Dazzle, to be able to respond to any ganks on Drow as she farms up. So very, very important sequence that looked bad because we died, but it honestly wasn't that bad at all. Okay, let's talk about my first item. My first item is Glimmer Cape. I think it's a pretty like self-explanatory item here. Ooh, let's slow this down here. All right, this was a pretty standard. I respawned, I TP'd in, and I graved the Drow. I just pressed my buttons. There's nothing crazy about this. This one was kind of obvious. But Again, the concept here is keep Drow alive and let her farm up to get her items. Once Drow gets her items, it's going to be very difficult for them to win. And at the same time, they're wasting a huge power spike with the Lesh Blink, right? So Lesh needs to get a lot of stuff down, a lot of stuff done, because he didn't buy BKB, he didn't buy Sanjin Kai or whatever it's called. He bought Blink. So he's like, you know, really sweating to get this Blink kills, you know, and by him falling behind, he's actually like double mad because he's not only not getting anything done, now he's like poor because he bought this Blink for nothing. So we're super duper happy. And what did I explain? Glimmer Cape. Glimmer Cape is great against magic damage heroes like Lesh. And in this game, I buy 2 items to counter Lesh. I buy my Glimmer Cape, and then I buy Force Staff just in case we get caught in a Lesh stun, or teammates get caught in a Lesh stun. It's also great to kite against Slardar and potentially Abaddon. So those are the 2 items that I get. And then my smoke. So you always want to try and have a smoke and smoke up for RP. RP and the Terrorize are 2 very important spells that you want to smoke up for if possible. So you should try and keep track of when RP is coming off cooldown. I wish Invoker would have cleared this freaking wave, but whatever. Let's watch this team fight here. I don't know if we do anything crazy, but I think it was a good smoke. Because we had vision of Lesh. Oh my god, so I wasn't able to save her. But I think Lesh overextended to kill Dark Willow, so this should work out in our favor. And Mag still has RP. They still have swap, but let's see what happens. Yeah, swap. They couldn't use it. So all in all, pretty good. Killed the Lesh. And we only lost a support. I want to be a little cautious here because I could get swapped, but as long as they think, as long as these 2 heroes don't show, if they knew these 2 heroes were top, they would have just instantly killed me if I showed on that wave at all. So I need to be quick. That's why I casted Poison Touch and Shadow Wave, bang bang, and then walked away. Didn't even wait for the creeps to die. I just wanted to push the wave. And then I'm just connecting with Drow here, I think. Oh, I just put a sneaky ward down and I connect with Drow. Because I cannot afford to let Drow die. And this is 22 minutes in now and we're 8k ahead. Alright, so, you know, from now on it's really not going to be too valuable for me to like review this gameplay because I'm like too far ahead. But you want to be aware of their initiations, which are swap into Slardar Burst or swap into Lesh Stun into Edict. That kind of thing. You always want to have Nothl Projection and Grave ready. In every game, you want to know your role, and you want to just keep that role in mind as the game progresses. You want to keep in mind which heroes have, and I think the RP is coming off cooldown 5 seconds. So I have my smoke ready again, and then I'm ready to smoke us up and make a play. I also consider taking Roche here, so that's why I'm warding the Roche pit, and I should have put a sentry down first, but I am an idiot, so they know that we have wards there. But I think it's fine if we just take Roche. So as long as we take Roche, I think it's worth it for them to find a ward. And then that gives us the potential to take tier 2s, maybe take Tormentor. We have a lot of control of the map. We can basically do whatever we want. I think we're looking to take tier 2 before Roche. Wait, did we take? We didn't take Roche yet, did we? No, we didn't. Alright, let's fast forward here. Maybe there's a good team fight I can show. Looks like they're split pushing, so we just take this tower. What an ARP. What an ARP. Well, who is this? Arise? Jesus. It's so satisfying to watch a Magnus player do a 4-staff skewer. This is pretty funny. So he's like, yeah, let me just kill the Dazzle. It's like, buddy, this is not 2022 anymore. Oh, this is a great, actually, this is a good illustration of the dispel. Okay, so let's watch this again. And this is a cool, you want to try and use this to your advantage. All right, so my body is, I think it's gonna get ulted here. Does it get ulted? Yeah, so I'm corrosive haste. But so if you cancel your ults, or if you just, I mean, if the ult ends, you get a hard dispel, which is great against Slardar, because then you can Glimmer Cape and run away. In this case, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because, you know, my team is ahead again. But anyway, that was pretty cool. Keep that in mind when you play. You can try to time up your dispel. It's a hard dispel, so everything gets dispelled. And I'm like, oh, I don't have grave. I'm bringing the grave. That's one thing you want to try and do, get in the habit of, is ping your grave during team fights. That way your team doesn't, you know, like your team can play accordingly, and they also don't get tilted when they die. They can look at the chat and see that you pinged your grave. So that's something you should do regularly if possible. See here, and then I think you should not push high ground without Roche, guys, unless they're like all dead. They're gonna have a glyph, and they're all gonna be alive with full HP with all their ults, and your team is just gonna have won this team fight, and you're not gonna have full HP, full mana, so you have to get Roche before you take high ground. This ward became useless because we did not take Roche when it was down here, so now I gotta reward Roche up here. But in the meantime, I need to push out this top wave. So oh, I also placed this ward because we're ahead now, so I want to make sure that I place wards where the enemy team will farm. Oof, and I actually almost missed this. Oh, that was a good grave right there. All right, another note is, because I was so far away, as soon as I clicked 2 spells, I just backed out. Ooh, that was close. I thought that spell dodges it. He swapped his teammate in. All right, so right now my eyes are on my Drow, and then half of my eye is on my Mag. Drow is my main priority. And then if Mag dies, he dies. I don't really care too much, but Drow can kill everyone. So I'm mainly focusing on my Drow. And then now we don't really care if they come in. And I see Slardar farming the bottom, so I should be hitting this. I don't know why I'm not hitting it, but I should be in the pit. I guess now that Slardar is up, or Lesh is up, I have to be a little careful. But our team is going to do a full reset, and because I pushed this top wave, right now we have a little bit of potential to push this top tower. So it was good. It's always good to push waves, but you want to be still careful of where you're showing on the map as Dazzle. And now that we have Roche and I have Force Staff, we feel a little bit better about pushing this tower. The mindset here is not to initiate. Let Drow hit the tower, make them do something. I'm not using my ult if I don't have to, because she has all her spells. She has Aegis. And I know that Mag has RP, so I smoke for Mag RP, which he freaking did a great job. And that was a great initiation. And I'm just staying behind Drow here. I'm not going in the front, not panicking here. There's probably going to be a buyback. So... 4-staff Drow. And I am not going on this high ground. I'm still not going on this high ground because there could be 2 buybacks here. If there's a buyback on Venge or a buyback on Slardar, it could be bad news if I am up in this area. So they said GG, but I did not think it was GG at all because Vengeful Spirit is a very tricky hero to play against, especially with Abaddon. So the swaps with the double life. Get a nice little double poison touch here. I think Drow still has Aegis, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And we still have Mag. And we're just pressing buttons, keeping an eye on Drow. Let Drow do all the hard work. Let them come to us, let them come to us. Another glyph, guys. How come the enemy team always has 10 glyphs and my team doesn't have any glyphs? Someone answer me that. Oh my god. Okay, this fight, for some reason, I felt like my hotkeys got messed up and I didn't click my stuff on time. But, yep. Drow is dead. Okay, so now this is a completely different fight. We better get the hell out of here. So, I'm like, all right, let's go. I don't want to die here. So I TP top and I take this huge thing of farm. I make sure to check for any boots of travels because I don't want to just die here. But you want to create map pressure and make them respond to you. So my goal is to like have Lesh TP top and then waste time trying to find me and kill me. And then I think we're trying to take Tormentor or something. I think. Yes, we take Tormentor. Awesome. Pretty simple stuff. Keep in mind, guys, we are ahead by 22k, okay? So, you know, nothing's gonna go this smooth, but I just want to illustrate like how to play team fights. I probably would have played the team fights the same way if the game was a little more even. It's just that, you know, they were holed up in their base. This is pretty cool. So when I push high ground, I like to stand right at the edge of where my ult can get on the high ground, and that way it's always a plus. Yeah, so this is pretty bad, I think, actually. He's silenced? Who did I click? Who did I click my... I don't even know what happened there, but anyway, the idea here is you stand on the low ground, you ult up to the high ground. Do I die here? Oh my god. I didn't die somehow, but Drow died, which again, it's our cue to get the hell out. Oh yeah. So again, it's the same thing. Because we're winning so much, I'm just creating pressure by pushing waves and then retreating back. I don't have a TP. I was like, Slardar's dead for sure, so I didn't join that fight. But now I'm just waiting for Roche because I'm like, all right guys, we got the idea. We're not pushing high ground without Roche. We're just pressing buttons, and I'm kind of mirroring Drow. Right, I'm ready to respond to Drow if I need to. And I even force staff for this. I graved way too early, And I maybe could have saved him if I had glimmered him. But that was a mistake on my part. I thought the damage would have been bigger on their part, but the idea here is you want to make sure Drow survives. Okay, and they committed a lot to Drow, and I think they overcommitted. So I don't know if we. I think they buy back. Yeah, so Slardar buys back, and Venge is alive. So now we just take Roche, I think. Wait, did we take Roche? I can't remember. Whatever. Whoa. Oh, oh, okay, yeah, we do take Roche. Okay, cool. Take the banner, and then I can't remember how this last team fight went. All right, I want to be patient with my ults usage here. The team doesn't really need me to be casting ult right now. Until Slardar comes in, or Venge gets on his second life, or Lesh commits, we don't need to be here. Like, we don't need to be doing anything. Because Venge is on his second life, I cast ult and I hexed him. And then right now I need to get to... Oh, nice grave on the Invoker. Yeah, I have Greaves. Why am I not creaking Greaves? Okay. Okay, Drow's Aegis got popped. And my Solar Crest is here. So let's talk about Solar Crest real quick. Ooh, nice little grave again. So Solar Crest is a pretty good item on Drow. It's a good item to push towers. Good item to push high ground. And because it gives you attack speed and physical barrier. It doesn't give you any kind of magic resistance, but I already have a Glimmer Cape for that. And I just thought that to send us over the edge, I just want Drow to hit really, really hard. I think it's just like a raid boss type deal where, look, you just give Drow a bunch of stuff and he will get the job done. So that's why I got the Solar Crest. It also gives me, well, I already had the, oh, it gives me extra movement speed, right? Yeah, it gives me 25 move speed. And the main thing here is it gives Drow attack speed and move speed. So I just want her to be immune to slows and just hit people. So that's why I got Solar Crest. And we're ready to go again, really. Let's see what happens here. And I think Venge bought back, right? Did she? That's why she's dead for 105 seconds. And this is pretty much the game. So once Venge died, that's it. I really don't even have to be here. So I'm just cleaning up vision. And I think that's it. Yeah, just hit the tower. Nice. I don't know why I have things in my backpack. Oh, no, I almost missed that grave. Oh, man. You know what's cool about the ult as well? If you're smoked and you ult, your ult does not pop your smoke. So you could be smoked for the whole team fight while casting spells and still be smoked, which is awesome. I love that. And there it is, guys. GG's. Oh, yes. Little stat padding here. You know? And then Solar Crest for the Slardar. Basically make him useless. I can Force Staff Drow. We both Force Staff. I think we actually saved her with Force Staff. But she has... oh, no, she had Butterfly. I thought she had Aegis. It popped. I forgot. And, okay. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, and a rampage! Nice. There we go, guys. Awesome Dazzle game, I felt. All right, that concludes our replay analysis. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Action!